and welcome back, you beautiful lot at home. As you can see from that opening sequence, today I'm showing you something that really sucks, and that is this Wessex 20 litre wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Now this 20 litre vacuum cleaner boasts a 1300 watt motor that can produce a maximum vacuum pressure of 18 kPa, 32 litres a minute airflow. It also comes with a 5 metre long power cable, a 1.5 metre long vacuum tube, and it all weighs only 6.3 kilograms. And it also comes with the following attachments. You get 3 extension tubes to pop onto the end of your nozzle to give you a nice long pole. You also get a floor head attachment and a crevice nozzle. And the machine itself does come with 3 vacuum bags included. Now, the bags themselves are made out of paper. However, you can see this one here is full of gravel, stones, rocks, grit and dirt. You can see as I shake it around, it is fairly strong. You also get the HEPA filter for when you're dry vacuuming, and you also get this spongy filter for when you are using it as a wet vac. Now it all sounds quite impressive, especially when you know this machine only costs $49.99 from Toolstation. Now the Wessex machine is imported and sold by Toolstation, so you can only buy it in the UK, as far as I'm aware, on the Toolstation website. Now that all sounds fairly impressive, but let's find out if it really is. So the first thing I'll be using this vacuum on is the interior of my car. Now I'm sure most of you that are on my channel watching this video now are into car detailing, valeting, or just looking after your cars at home. If you're not, we'll get to the other functions of this machine a little bit later on. Now this vehicle hasn't been vacuumed out for at least 6 months, so please don't judge me in the comments, I'm sure you all will. And yesterday my son decided to drop his lunchbox on the floor, and I was like, oh, don't clear it up. That will come in perfect for filming this video. Now lucky for me, he didn't trample it in the carpet, he got out the car very, very nicely and didn't stand all in it. However, I think for an extreme test, someone needs to step on it. So now we have that trodden into the carpet, I'm going to go grab the Wessex wet and dry vacuum. Fingers crossed, we can get it all up. Now before we start, I just need to add a vacuum bag to the machine. And it's as simple as just unfolding the vacuum bag, popping this little rubber notch on this cardboard plate onto the plastic of the machine, and making sure when you push it on, it clicks. There is also a little bit of an arrow there to show you which way is up. So you want the long part of the bag dangling down into the machine. And you just want to pop that all in there, get it on there, push, making sure not to rip the bag as you do so. And there we have it, bag is on. Now also make sure if you're using this on the dry vacuum function, you have that HEPA filter inserted onto the motor in the top and locked in place. So now before you all pop it in the comments below and ask the question, yes, you probably could use this machine without a bag. As it comes with that HEPA filter, you could use it without the bag because that filter will filter out any nasty particles and dust and debris and release it back into the air. That should stop all that happening. However, I personally wouldn't recommend using this machine without the bag, as once that filter starts to get blocked up, you'll start to lose suction. You'll have to rinse it out, wash it out, or maybe even replace it. So I'd always recommend using the bag whenever and wherever you can for the dry vacuuming function. So now we have the machine ready to go. Let's get sucking. Now as I start to vacuum the floor, I was pleasantly surprised at how well this vacuum picked up all that loose dirt and grime and all those big chunks of crisps, cookie and biscuit that are trodden into the carpet of the vehicle. Now making sure to pick up as much of that big chunks of dirt and grime and loose debris before switching over to that crevice attachment to help pick up that loose, finer dirt that may be embedded into the carpet. Now you may see there is some damage to this carpet, and there is also some staining from some paint that was spilled a little while ago that will need a little bit more attention than just a vacuum. However, as you can see, this vacuum has done a fantastic job of pulling all those crumbs, dirt, grit and grime that I trod into that carpet out. Now, as you can see, this machine did not struggle to pick up that thick debris, those big chunks of dirt, crisp, cookie, you name it was on that floor. This machine didn't struggle to pick them up. And then once I put this nozzle on, it managed to get up that finer, ingrained dirt, dust and grime. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, there is some damage to these carpets. There is some mud all over those carpets that is really, really ingrained. So for now, I'm going to stop with this machine. And I'm going to carry on with this a little bit later on, as it needs just a little bit more than a vacuum. However, so far this machine has impressed me with its suction power. It is strong, it is good, and it hasn't clogged up like some household vacuums that you may be using to clean your car out if you don't already have a machine like this. Now, there are a few drawbacks to this machine, and there are a few turn-offs about this machine that I've already found. I'm going to show you one of them now, and we'll get to the rest a little bit later on. Now, what about if you want to use this machine as a blower? Now, in the instruction manual, all it tells you to do is take the hose out of the front of the machine and just push it into the back. Then once you've done that, it's just a case of turning it on and blowing out what you need to blow out. The hose doesn't stay in there, no matter how many times I try it. Time and time and time again, that hose keeps popping out and popping out. I can shove it in, turn it on, and out it comes. No matter how many times I try this, no matter how many different ways I try this, it just keeps popping out. Now, I've followed every instruction in the book that it comes with. All it says is to unscrew it from the front and forcefully push it in the back. I can't push that in any harder than I already have. No matter how hard I push that in there, I've only got to go and start blowing again, and it comes out. I don't know what else there is I can do to stop this from happening. Now, one thing I have noticed about this machine, where the blower port is, there is a little notch on the top there that looks like something should lock onto it. I've looked in the manual, I've looked in the box. There was no other fitting that come with this machine that was supposed to lock onto there. Again, I've followed the manual to the T on how to use this as a blower. Now, I have contacted Toolstation himself. The response I got was, although they are imported for Toolstation specifically, our staff are not trained in technical support for the products that we sell. You need to contact the manufacturer of the product, which I find a little bit bad. I've emailed Toolstation. It says in the booklet to email Toolstation with any issues that I might have, and they can't solve it. So I've gone to the manufacturer of this machine, and it has been around about 9 days now with no response whatsoever from the manufacturer of this machine. Even though it says online they will get back to you within 48 hours. I've contacted them twice to still no response. So if you're looking to buy this machine as a blower, I would definitely steer clear of this at all costs, unless you have a lot more patience than I do. Now, what about if you're on a building site and you want to vacuum up some rubble that may be left over from shoveling up the big stuff? Well, it's simple. You can just grab the vacuum and use it as it is by hand, or you can pop those extension tubes onto the end of the handle and save your back from bending over. And then just make sure there's no big bits of stone like this that won't fit down the end of the pipe. Just get rid of those and then start to vacuum. There we have it. It's handled those big chunks of rock really, really well, and with no loss of suction whatsoever. It still sucks as strong as when I first put that bag in. Now what about the light dirt? Like wood shavings, dust, and just general loose grit like this on the floor and behind me. Then it's simple, just grab your vacuum head like this. And again, you can pop it on your extension hose or you can pop it onto the hand section there. Just pop it onto the end, turn it on. Now there we have it. It's managed to get up that loose dirt and grime and grit with absolute ease, and I didn't have any doubt that it would, because it managed to get up all that big debris from over there. Those rocks, those stones, that grit, that grime, it managed that easy. It managed that dirt and chunks and grime and crisps and cookies from the car. There was no doubt it was going to get that loose, fine grit and dirt and grime up with absolute ease. And again, this has no loss of suction whatsoever from when I first started. Now, one thing that I will say to bear in mind, although it says it's a 20-litre drum, it does only have a 13-litre capacity for dry materials. Now, what about if you wanted to use this as an extractor in your vehicle? Then you could. It's quite simple. You would need to buy the extractor attachment to pop onto the end of the hose, and you could use it to extract those seats out with. For me, there's no point. I already have a dedicated extractor, so I won't be buying the extractor kit for this, but you could, and it's as simple to do as when you want to suck up water with it. Now, we'll show you that now. Now, this is a wet and dry vac, and you can use this for wet materials, and it's as simple as just taking the top off, taking the bag out, swapping the HEPA filter over for that foam filter, putting the top back on, and away we go. So now we have the machine ready and set up to be a wet vac. I have a bucket here with 5 litres of water in, and I have a camera there. Ignore that, that is just to see how quick this water goes down when I start sucking. Now, just like before, this had a dry capacity of only 13 litres, even though it's a 20-litre drum. Now, as a wet capacity, it only has 11 litres. And this is to protect the motor and electronics inside the machine and stop you probably from getting zapped. Now, before I start to use this as a wet vac, one thing it does say in the instruction manual is don't submerge the head fully into water. Leave a bit of a gap on the top of the water just so you can allow some airflow into the machine as it's sucking the water as well. Now let's get on and see how quick it can suck up that 5 litres of water, and then we can work out how many litres per minute this can suck. Now there we have it. That was 5 litres of water in just around about 20 seconds. This machine can suck 15 litres of water per minute. But now it's full of water, we need to empty it, and there's no drain bung on this machine. You literally have to take the top off and tip it out. Now, once that water is drained out, I like to just go over with a microfiber towel and get up any loose moisture that may still be inside the drum, and also give that motor a little bit of a wipe over after I've removed that foam filter. Now, once the internals are dry, I like to just pop the hose onto the blower function. Make sure you hold onto it so that pipe doesn't blow off. Turn it on and just get rid of all that loose moisture that is inside the pipe. Make it nice and dry and ready for the next time I want to use it. So when you have finished drying your machine out, you can take the lid off, pop all your accessories inside, pop the lid back on, and they're stored away safely and securely for the next time you want them. You won't be hunting for them, you know they're inside the machine. Now the final part of tidying this machine up is the cable itself, and it says it has a dedicated place for the cable to be wound around the machine. And I can see one hook there, and I'm guessing you wrap the other half around one of the casters on the bottom. And there we have it, the machine is away and tidy and ready again for the next time you want to use it. So there we have it, that has been my test of this Wessex wet and dry vac. Now would I recommend buying it? No, I really wouldn't. It is a fantastic, fantastic sucker, but it sucks. It absolutely sucks in two different ways. It sucks up dirt, it sucks up water with absolute ease, no loss of suction. It's got a powerful suction to it and it works really, really well as a sucker. Motor, feels built well, feels nice, it feels quality. Move down, cheap and nasty. This drum feels flimsy. Every time I touch it, it bends inwards. There's dents in it already. I've used this once before and it's been sat in my office. Nothing's hit this and it's just dented just like that. These catches on the side are absolutely flimsy as anything. They feel like they're going to fall off and snap very, very soon. The caster, now the first time I used this machine, pulled it over the ground, one of the casters flew out and fell off and it just kept coming out. So I had to super glue one of the casters actually into the machine so it stopped coming off. The pipe itself, too short, 1.5 metre for a pipe. Yes, you can buy an extension pipe for it. I can't find one that's actually designed for this machine, but you can buy pipes, you can send it yourself, fairly easy. But the attachments that come with it are okay, but the extension tubes that come with it are very, very flimsy, are very nasty. They're different sort of plastic, this hardware and plastic. They feel like they're going to break if you accidentally look at them too hard. They just feel absolutely useless. Now the machine itself is only $49.99. Yes, I'm not expecting a Rolls Royce of a machine, and I'm not expecting it to be perfect. However, before you sit there saying it's a cheap machine, what do you expect? Go check out Screwfix. Go check out the Titan version of the 20 litre wet and dry vac. It's solid, it is a good machine, and it's not far off the price of this. Now, if I was you and you're looking at buying this, don't. Head over to Screwfix and buy the Titan wet and dry vac. I got to play with one of them recently, and they are really, really good. And the blower function actually works. The pipe doesn't keep popping out the back like it does on this one. And I'm sure if you have an issue, message Screwfix and they'll sort you out. Toolstation, they haven't got a clue. No one knows about the fitting on the back of this for the blower. The manufacturer itself haven't got back to me. Screwfix, I'm sure they would get back to you fairly good because their aftermarket sales are very, very good, and I've never had an issue with them before. With these, they don't seem to know what's happening. Now, if you do have one of these and you've got a different fitting for this blower function, or your blower function doesn't fall out, or you know how to make it work without the pipe flying out everywhere, then let me know. If I'm doing something wrong, pop it in the comments below, because Toolstation and the manufacturer itself haven't got back to me. That's it. That's not a lot more I can say about this machine other than it is cheap and nasty. Yes, it has a nice, strong, powerful motor. Yes, it does suck, and it sucks really, really well, but it also sucks. It's, for the price of it, for the quality of it, I wouldn't recommend buying it. I would definitely hop on over to Screwfix and give a go with their Titan machine. Now guys, I have been the Hairy Housewife. You guys have been great. Thank you for sitting and watching this sucky video, and I'll see you all again very soon. You get 3 extension tubes to pop onto the end of your nozzle to give you a nice long pole.